This is raspberry lemonade. It's Mountain Dew Spark Zero. I was. This is how like lame my life is now. I was driving home the other day and I was like, man, I've got a lot of editing to do. And I was like, oh, I know, I should stop and get a fun drink. And a fun drink is this. This is a fun drink for me, I guess. Because I don't really drink a lot of alcohol. Although they do have a Mountain Dew alcohol. And they sell it in Iowa. And I live in Nebraska, I live in Omaha, which is on the border between Council Bluffs and Omaha are basically one metro area. So you drive across the bridge and you're in Council Bluffs. It's like a 20-minute drive. But the airport, the Omaha airport, is technically in Iowa. It's like a weird carve out just for the airport, but you have to drive through Iowa to get to the airport, kind of. So it's weird. And so last time I picked someone up, my girlfriend up at the airport, I stopped at the gas station. I was like, oh, they got it. So I got a bunch of them. It's pretty good. I think it's limited time or limited market right now, but it's gonna go nationwide and it's good. You should get it when they do it. But until then, this is what I got. Because Zevia doesn't call me. Anyway, this is neither here nor there. Yes, how are you doing? I am doing not great. I don't know, my mental health is way downhill right now. It doesn't seem like it because I'm smiling and I'm happy, but it seems like I'm happy. I am not. Trust me, I cried earlier today. Oh, that was fun. It's been a busy, I don't know, I'm just exhausted by everything. And I'm like, oof. I didn't play hockey this week, which is, I think hockey is like this and hockey. And it's like I was so busy, I didn't make any videos, and I didn't get to play hockey. So I think, oh jeez, that's a big one. Bear's over there, coughing up a storm, coughing up some fur balls. And I think that I'm trying to like carve out, like, if there's hockey, I'm playing hockey, like I'm not working. And so because of one of the ice rinks has kind of been kind of jerks to us about our ice time, and they keep you know, jerking us around on it. So we finally were like, you know, fuck this, we're gonna go to one of the other rinks. And so because of that, there's a gap. So this week there was no pickup hockey. And then I had a job today, which normally I play on Thursdays too. Well, I guess that was yesterday. And we were supposed to be out till like 7. And that's when hockey is, so I was like, fuck. But we did get home early, but I was in no shape to play. I was way too tired. So I came home, I basically just crashed. Because we got up at like 5 a.m. to drive 2 hours to shoot all day. And then we did a good job, and our subject was really good, so we finished early and came home. But the day before, I went to jail. Oh man, that should be, God, that was like a really good clickbait. I'm gonna still use that as a clickbait. I was like, oh, I went to jail. I also want to stop this and start over and be like, I went to jail because we were filming a recruitment video to get more correction officers in. So we went to jail, and it was an interesting experience with a rich palette of smells. A lot of smells in jail, and most of them are not pleasant. Jail's not it was way more chill than I would have expected, but also like not at the same time. Jail does not have a lot of natural light. I don't know how you can work in that environment. So anyway, mental health. Yeah, mental health. Making these videos is good. Playing hockey is good, and I have not done that this week because it's just been like non-stop busy with work and editing and stuff, and so it's like, so I think I need to make a more conscious effort to definitely carve out the time for hockey, but also carve out the time to make these videos, because I think that really helps my mental state when I'm regularly making them. And I'm really trying. The problem is when the camera goes out, like when the camera has to work. This is my A camera for work, and I have other cameras I could make ASMR on, but like they're not as good, you know. So I want to use this one. It looks the best, and I like the autofocus is really good, and I can hook my microphone directly to it. This is a lot of things. It's just good with it. So when the camera goes out to work, you know, you gotta take it off, like having a setup. So it's like if I could get a second one of these cameras, which is really hard to get because these cameras are in like really high demand right now, and you know, production line stuff, supply issues. It's hard to get these cameras right now, even though they've been out for like 2 years now. But yeah, I think in an ideal world, I would have one of these where it's like it stays locked to the desk. It doesn't move. I don't care. And then I can always just come, sit down, hit record, let's go. And even better, I'd probably hook this up. Now that I have my new computer, I kind of want to hook this up to a 8-town, which is like a little streaming rig. And then I could just live stream off of it. And then what might be cool is to do live stream ASMRs. I've talked about doing it before, and I never really got around to it. But now with the new computer, that shouldn't have a problem doing it. That could be pretty fun. It could be pretty cool. So, that's in my head. Also in my head, because this is really getting rambly. There's no cohesion here. Sorry about it, or you're welcome if you like the rambly stuff, because it's gonna get real rambly today. I was thinking a lot about the opposite of rambly videos and doing like hyper-focused short form ASMR. And when I say short form, I mean like I was doing those quick Tingle videos, which were like 5 minutes or less. But it's like, what if it's a rambly quick Tingle, but it's not rambly? It's like really focused on like one specific thing. And so it's like ASMR teaching you how to, but you know. And I don't know what exactly the content would be, but I just like, I've been noticing that, like, I really like short videos that have content. So not like TikToks and Reels are like good when there's like, you know, it's like one joke and it's like in out 15 seconds. You're like, okay, that's good. But I want something that's like a minute, 2 minutes, but like that's it. But then like I want to get something. I want to learn something from it. And I feel like all the educational content is like, it's 10 minutes. The algorithm is gamed to make that stuff like as long as possible, so it's stretched out. That's like, what if it was like something very specific that like you could get a noticeable appreciation in a skill in a minute or two? You know, think about things. And that AC is really loud today. Think about things like oh, also I have a zit. You see it? It was really big, and then it popped right there. But things like for YouTube, you're like shooting into a corner, you know, is something that like it looks better than a flat wall. It adds dimension, and you know, you could talk about how you could get the more out of focus background by zooming in. Yes. Is that uncomfortable? Because then the person feels claustrophobic a little bit. Although the zoomed in, like the tighter it is, the better it looks usually. Except you can see all my pores and like where I need to shave. Oh yeah, and how crooked my teeth are. Gorgeous. And how gross my hair looks right now, which is why I usually wear beanies. Oh yeah. So, anyway, where was I going with that? God, man, I can't keep a coherent thought today. Yeah, so short form ASMR, but also long form live streams. And also my mental health sucks. Also, I was driving, we were shooting Grand Island today, and I was thinking about, because I drove, and I was like, when I drive, I'm just like I drove the crew, and I'm like, fuck this, like, driving, and everyone gets to like play on their phone, and I like driving through Nebraska. Nebraska sucks to drive through. If you've never driven through Nebraska, don't, it sucks. But Grand Island's like 2.5 hours away from Omaha, and so I'm driving, and I'm like, man, I wish there was like a game you could play while you were driving. And then the only thing I could think of was like trivia. So I'm like, maybe I should start a YouTube channel, like a trivia YouTube channel. Maybe I should do ASMR trivia. That'd be something, maybe. I don't know. These are just fucking, I have more ideas than I have time to execute or energy to execute them. So if just take that and make an ASMR trivia channel. I'll give you a shout out, I guess. Because there's something, I like the idea in my head of like doing YouTube full time, but not how most people do YouTube full time, where you're like, I'm a YouTuber, this is my channel, but instead doing, there's these things called content farms, where like the most popular one, the most successful one is like out of Russia, and it's like they do like the 5-minute crafts videos, and then they just like take the footage and like dub it in like 30 different languages, and they just churn those fucking videos out. And I'm like, what if it was something like that, but it wasn't 5-minute crafts necessarily, it was just like stuff I was interested in, and stuff I think should be made, because I have so many ideas, and I'm sure ideas are the easy part, and so it's like, but I have the production know-how, and I have a little bit of charisma on the camera, so it's like, I have so many ideas for channels, and so part of me wants to like get some money, whether it be by like hustling my ass off and getting a bunch of work, and then being like, okay, I'm taking the next 3 months off, and I'm gonna execute on this idea, and I'm gonna start like 10 new YouTube channels. But then the other part of me is like, I'm just kind of doing these, and like, if I could get 2 channels to the point where they're both making, a decent amount of money, we'll say $1,000 each, then that's $2,000 in income, and then I could start kind of paring back the normal work and focus more on the YouTube, start the 3rd channel, and have that as kind of the idea. Because I think there's a couple things I want to see that I think would be good. Like, one idea I have is like tools. Like, so think about like tools, but like short form videos about what a tool is and how it's used. So, like when would you use a jigsaw? Like, when would you use a circular saw? When would you use a table saw? Like, what are the applications? Like, what are the key components? Like, things you should kind of know how to adjust. So like that could be like its own channel, and then like doing very simple, you could build a whole, like, if you took that concept and you could just put it to anything. You think about like art, and you think about how many different markers and brushes and crayons and like just things like cross hatching. You think a video like, what is cross hatching? And you think about guitars, with like scales and chords and effect pedals, and like you could just have these like very quick 1 to 2 minute long, you're like, here's a breakdown on something, and so you think about that, and like that information is more or less good forever. Like, there's not a lot of innovations happening in the jigsaw world, or in the screwdriver world, or the Japanese pole saw world. Same way, like, there's not any real new scales or chords coming out, and so you could kind of do these videos that live forever, and there's a I don't know if it's a theory or a concept, but it's called the long tail, and the idea is that most of the stuff, most of the let's say videos get most of the views go to a few videos, but then as it stretches out, it becomes like a scale issue. And if you could get 10 views a day, that's nothing, 10 views a day, right? But if you had, let's say, 100,000 videos, 10 views a day, 100,000 videos, that's 1 million views a day, and then that's something that's pretty significant. And so it's like, okay, well, how do you get 100,000 videos? And I think we can ask Siri, what's 100,000 divided by 365?
The answer is approximately 273.9726.
So if you made 300 videos a day, in 1 year you'd have 100,000 videos. Which obviously you can't do that, so you stretch out the plan, we'll say 3 years. You're making 100 videos a day, could do, I don't know, if you had 10 channels making 10 videos a day, you couldn't do that. That's not sustainable. So let's say you stretch that out to what, 5 years, 10 years? I don't know. But the concept is there, and it's like, obviously one person can't do it, but if you had a team of 10 people and they each made 10 videos a day, that's 50 videos. Wait, 10 people, 10 videos a day, that's 100 videos. And then that's 500 a week. Like, that would add up pretty quick. Granted, you'd also have to pay 9 other people. So again, not necessarily the most sustainable idea, but it's the long-term concept of like owning a production company that makes short-form, high-quality, high-value content, I think, and doesn't, because I think what it comes down to, and if you're a creator, but also a creator for money, for clients, the bottleneck is the client. Whereas if you kind of just knew what you were gonna make and you had no revisions to make, really, it was kind of just like, I'm making this thing, I'm okay with it being slightly less than perfect because I know the content of the content. I mean, it's hard to use the same words, but the value you get within the video is good enough that you can overlook small things and like, is the music the best it could be? Like, no, who cares? Is the read as good as it could be? Like, no, who cares? Like, get it out there. Get out a lot of pretty good content. And over time, I think with enough videos, 100,000 videos, 10 views a day on average, you're getting 1 million views a day. And that is that's a staggering amount of content and ad revenue, and you know, that builds into its own. It's like, I don't know if you're familiar with this artist. His name's Shepard Fairey. You might know him as Obey. But he talks about, you know, the power of repetition and how, like, he had those stickers that say, like, Andre the Giant has a posse, and he just put them up everywhere. And it's that, you know, nothing about that is inherently special or good, or, you know, noteworthy other than the fucking effort. And I think if you take that concept and you apply it to something like YouTube or content creation in general, and it's just the fucking effort, the sheer will of the repetitive, but not, you know, like, it's repetitive, but it isn't, if that makes sense. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's very repetitive. And I think also, there's an artist I really like, his name's Tom Sachs, and he does these really intricate, basically he like recreates things out of like plywood and like foam gore, and so he like makes, you know, think of like a really elaborate model but like made out of like a shitload of really tiny pieces of things. And like, I'm really doing a disservice selling his work. Go check out Tom Sachs, because his work's it's bonkers. And he talks a lot about like the repetition and like the small, and so you think about each of those small little building blocks. I don't know. I think I'm just my brain's fried right now. Like the last 2 days, I've probably worked like 30 hours, so I'm just like, it's just sapped. I don't know what I'm gonna call this video. I think I went to jail and some other stuff happened. Oh, I don't know. It feels good. It feels good to talk to the camera again. Oh man. So yeah, I think we'll end that here. Yeah. That's what you can look forward to. That I'm good. Maybe some live streams. Maybe some short form content. Maybe I'm gonna start my own production company where I just make a bunch of shit for YouTube, and I try to make 100 videos in a day for 3 years straight. Like an idiot. That probably won't happen, but I like the idea in my head of a content farm, for lack of a better term, where you just make cool stuff with your friends. just a little earlier, and you get up and you're like, this 10 minutes is my time to do this fucking thing that I want to do. And you do it first, and you do the you time first, which that's something I got from Tom Sachs. I've been watching a lot of his interviews and stuff, and he talks about stealing time. You know, if you're at the job, go fuck off to the bathroom for 10 minutes and fuck around on your phone or whatever. Like, steal time, but do something for you. Don't just like disengage and dissociate. Like, do something that sparks joy, that brings fulfillment to you. Whatever that is, find time, steal it from your fucking employer. Fuck them. They probably underpay you. So do something for yourself for 10-15 minutes every day. Find that time and steal it. Do what you have to and get it done. That's the homework assignment. Forever, going forward. Steal time. Make your own stuff. Yeah. Cool. Alright. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.